Failure. It is an option. So what can you do about it? What's up, fellow marketers? I'm Chris Kapelski, and welcome to a fantastic edition of Marketing Tip Monday. Failure is okay. It happens to everyone. In fact, you've probably heard that 50% of businesses will fail within the first 5 years. Think about that. That's a crazy statistic. Of all the people that you've known in business for less than 5 years at this point, more than half of them won't be around within their first 5 years. Furthermore, as humans, outside of death, failure is the only thing that 100% of us share as an experience. I think it's safe to say that failure happens. But what can we do about it? You often hear people say, it's what you do after failure that counts. And they're 100% right, but it's also what you do before. One of the biggest pieces of advice that I can give on failure is to just go ahead and hit that like button down there right now. Get it out of the way at the first part of the video. But seriously, we would greatly appreciate if you guys hit the like button if you like these videos and subscribe to the channel. And just for doing that on this video, we got a super special secret surprise for you at the end, so stick around for that. And now, let's get back to the video. When failure happens unexpectedly, it can be devastating. But failure has its benefits, and I'm going to talk about those in the second part of this video. But luckily, a lot of failure can be avoided, and it can be as easy as adopting these simple ideas. First, always be willing to learn. Failure has a way of sneaking up on people who are adverse to new knowledge, and new knowledge often gives you a way to avoid failure in the first place. So always be willing to learn new things, whether that's in your industry, how your clients are acting, or maybe how your customers are acting. Whatever it is, look at things that are important to you and learn new things. Don't let failure keep you from trying new things. That'll just hurt your business long term. Second, welcome change. If you never change and you continue to operate your business with the same ideas, there's going to come a day when those ideas no longer work in your industry, and that's going to create a failure. Instead, if you welcome change, not only will you stay on the forefront of your business, but you can help avoid the failures of stagnation. Third, talk to other people that have been in your position before. Unless you're in a really cutting-edge industry, there's likely a bunch of people that have been exactly where you are now. If you talk to them and find out what their experiences were like and how they made it through some of the hardships of those experiences, I guarantee it'll help you avoid failures in your own business. Fourth, make a plan. Failure has a tendency to sneak up on those who haven't made a plan. So think about your goals and think about what you want in your business. Be extremely specific. Don't just say, I want to make $1 million. Make a plan that shows you a path on how you can get from where you are now to that $1 million. If you can be specific and you create a plan, you'll avoid the pitfalls along the way, and you'll avoid the failures associated with those things. Fifth, failure happens. In some instances, it's completely unavoidable, and you're better off to not dwell on it. Instead, look at that failure and find the silver lining. All failure has benefits, and now we're going to talk about those benefits. The first significant benefit of failure is that it makes you human and more relatable to others. As I said at the beginning, 100% of people will experience failure at some point in their life. If you take those failures and you embrace them and you talk about them with others, that'll create discussions and it'll make you more personable to the people around you. No one is perfect, and the people that pretend to be perfect often are looked at as fake. And people will see right through that. If you're meeting with a client and you're pretending to be the perfect, amazing business, the business that they absolutely have to have, they may call BS on that in the meeting. And they may think, well, no business is perfect. When you talk about your failures with others, something really interesting happens as well. It provides learning opportunities for the people that you're talking to. These learning opportunities will make you a valuable resource. After all, people can come to you and maybe avoid failures like we talked about earlier in their own life. If people can avoid failures by talking to you, it's going to expand your network, grow your business, and it'll even help position you as an expert in your industry. Speaking of learning opportunities, that's the second benefit of failure. Failure provides learning opportunities for you. Let me give you an example. We've been making these Marketing Tip Monday videos for quite some time now. Every single video we take a lot of time and put a lot of effort into the topics that we choose, what we talk about, and why. A handful of weeks back, we had a video that was not so successful. We put a lot of time, effort, and energy into it, even more energy and stuff than we normally would. But the video just fell flat. It didn't do well. So after we failed and the video didn't do well, we took a deep dive into what was going on there. And it turns out the topic was probably not relevant for when it was released. On top of that, it was a holiday season and people were pretty busy with other things. So we took a look at those failures and we learned from them. Now we know better what topics to release and when to release those topics in the future. You can do the same thing with your failures in your business. And if you take a look at your failures and you find out how you can take them and be better, you'll come out the other side much stronger and your business will be that much better for it. The third benefit of failure, in most cases, is that it's not a finite thing. In fact, failure only tends to have as big an impact as you let it have on the situation that you're in. For example, if something happens in your business where you lose a big client, that's a huge problem. And it could be if that client was paying you a lot of money. It could even have a huge impact on your books. But are you going to dwell on that? Or are you going to go out and find a new client? You probably can find a ton of new clients, or maybe even just another client that would replace them. If you dwell on it, that failure is going to be a huge thing. If you don't dwell on it, that failure is going to become pretty small pretty quickly. In fact, most failures, once they happen, you could just move on. It's tough to think about that in the time, as most failure is pretty emotional. People think about all the bad things that happen, and you start going down this rabbit hole of what if this happens now, or what if that happens now. Instead, try to stay positive. Just think about your failures objectively, and then find ways to move on from them. If you can do that, it'll take the negative experience of a failure and turn it into a positive. It may even create a learning opportunity, but ultimately it will help you move on. And that's exactly what you need to do if you experience a failure in your business. As I said at the top, failure happens, but hopefully now you have better ways to deal with those failures, and you can see the benefits of failures as they happen. Failure even happens in our videos, and they're far from perfect, which brings back the surprise from the beginning of the video. We have a ton of outtakes from creating these videos, and we thought it'd be awesome to share them all with you. I hope you guys enjoy. We'll see you on the next Marketing Tip Monday. That's a crazy statistic, but to dive into that even deeper, over 100%. What's up, fellow marketers? I'm Chris Kapelski, and welcome to another's. But failure also has a lot of benefits, and we're going to talk about those in the second part of this video. I totally forgot what I was saying after that. Failure will tend to creep into your business. Oh, I said that before. And speaking of learning experiences, that's the second benefit of failure. Failure provides benefit. Oh, it's not benefits there. If you look at your. No, that wasn't that part. As I said at the top, failure happens. It does. It does happen. And that wraps it up, folks. I forgot what I was going to say again.